What we think?
Hello friends, I am Albi Job. In the last video, I discussed with you about a beautiful short story, Amigo Brothers, written by Piri Thomas. So today, I would like to introduce a beautiful poem by a well-known American poet, Robert Lee Frost, Mending Wall. It is written in 1915. It is the first book in his second book of collection, North of Boston. It is written in blank verse, iambic pentameter, unrhymed lines in 5 pairs of syllables per line, whereas a stressed syllable followed by a unstressed syllable. Also, it is written in first person point of view. So the author Robert Lee Frost was born on March 26, 1874, San Francisco, California, USA. William Prescott Frost and Isabella Frost were his parents. He won 4 times Pulitzer Prize in the years 1924, 1931, 1937 and 1934, where his famous poems were The Road Not Taken, Birches and Mending Wall. Also, in this beautiful poem, he is speaking about his own experience. When he was in England, he had a neighbor in Hampshire, a Canadian fellow, and they had a land. It was separated by a wall. So, in this poem, the author or the poet speculates about the wall, how it had broken, and how they are rebuilding the wall in every spring season. Now, let us move on Mending Wall in detail. So, from the first 4 lines, Frost speaks about the problem they had facing in their land and how the wall had broken. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. So, from the first 4 lines, he speculates that there is something that breaks down the wall every year, which means that does not like the wall, and perhaps the water beneath the ground is frozen and it result ice expands over it and it create cracks over the wall and it may broken down the wall. So the crack that grow until it is so wide where two people can pass in between the gap created in the wall. So here the speaker is the poet itself, and he's sharing his view that he's sharing the idea that by creating a wall, people were separating each other, and everyday life they are creating a wall in their mind and their life, their day-to-day life situation. So in the second stanza of the poem, from lines 5 to 11, the work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair, where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hitching to please the yelping dogs. The gap, I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring minted time we find them there. In the second stanza of the poem, he speaks that he rejected the concept of it would have been broken by the hunters, even though the hunters were came there in to catch the rabbit by their dogs, and they rearranged the wall, but the crack again happened in the wall, and the poet speculate that there is something that doesn't love the wall, or there is something unseen or unheard which were creating the crack on the wall, or it is destroying the wall every year. In the next stanza, he is speaking that I let my neighbor know beyond the hill and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go. In the third passage, Robert Frost narrates that the wall is created between a wide hill, a hilly area. He informed his neighbor who living the other side of the hill about the hole, and also they decided to meet each other on a day-to-day walk, and each of them decided to rebuild it again. So, next in the next stanza, to each the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are lost, and some so nearly balls, we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. From 16 to 19, they conveys that they are ready to rearrange it again, and the poet complains that we cannot create it again as it was on the earlier times, because after rebuilding it again and again, it lost its structure and shape, and if something magic happens, only they can rebuild it again. So let us move on to the next stanza, lines 20 to 24. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game. One on a side, it comes to little more. There where it is we do not need the word. He is all pine and I am apple orchard. In these lines, he says that by picking up the heavy loads, by picking up the heavy stones, both of their hands were turned to hard and rough, and they felt that they were playing a game than rebuilding the world. They considered it as playing a game with a single opponent, so we can compare with the games like tennis or basketball. So it seems like playing than working, and the world is unnecessary for both of them, because both of them had different types of trees growing on their land. The neighbor had pine trees, and the poet had apple trees on his land. On the next stanza of the poem 25 to 29, he addresses that my apple trees will never get across and eat the corns under his pines. I let him. He only says good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. In this line, he says to his neighbor that both of them had different kinds of plants growing on there, and the poet says to his neighbor that his apple trees will never encroach in his two pine trees, and the wall is unnecessary. But the neighbor reject the idea of the poet, and he says that good fences can make good neighbors, and the poet decided to do something or some tricky ideas to convey him, not allow him to make again the word. So by moving to the next stanza, lines 30 to 35, he says that why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I build a wall, I would ask to know what I was wailing in or wailing out, and to whom I was like to give offense. In this stanza, the poet raises some question to his neighbor about why good fences make good neighbors, and also he argues that plants may grow on the fences, and it will attract the cows, and it may again destroyed by the cows, and the fences will and they need to rebuild it again and again. So the poet is using tricky ideas to convince his neighbor here. Instead of rebuilding the wall, he is saying that the cows will attract on the grass which were growing on the fences, and it will destroy the wall. And in fact, the poet wants to know what he is protecting by making a wall in the land. He wants to know how, for what purpose he wants to build a wall, and what will he get by building a wall, because they had different kinds of trees were growing on both of their lands. In the following stanza, something there is that doesn't love a word, that wants it down, I could say, else to him, but it is not else exactly. And I would rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone, save which are. From these lines, poets speculate that the world have been pulled down by some else. Frost does not want to tell his neighbor about it. Instead, he is trying to convince his neighbor by rebuilding the world again and again. So the mind of neighbor would change and he would come to save in a conclusion. So he warned his neighbor. From these lines, poets speculate that the world have been pulled down by some else. Frost does not want to tell his neighbor about it. Instead, he is trying to convince his neighbor by rebuilding the world again and again. So the mind of neighbor would change and he would come to save in a conclusion. And the poet is very hopeful that his neighbor will change his mind and support his point of view, and he decided not to build the wall again and again. And here he compared the neighbor with an uncivilized person in the Stone Age who used stones as weapons to create wall. So here he is trying to convince the neighbor to not rebuild it again and again. In the last stanza of the poem, he says that he moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only, and the shades of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes, having thought of it so well, he says again, good fences make good neighbor. In the last stanza, his neighbor had some kind of affinity towards darkness, because the darkness is created by the shades of the trees in the forest, and it is not just the darkness in his mind, it is the darkness, the darkness showed through these lines is the shade created in the forest. Also, the neighbor cannot disagree his father's point of view that good fences can make good neighbors. That's why he is always disagreeing the point of view of the poet to not to build it again, to build the wall again as it was on the earlier times. So the poet is always convincing his neighbor that to not rebuild it again and again, even though they had different kinds of trees. The poet says that his apple trees will not encroach with his pine trees, and there is no need of wall in between them. But the neighbor disagrees it with a word that, with a line of sentence, with a line that good fences can make good neighbors, and he always rejecting the idea of the poet, and he is very hopeful but to convince his neighbor, and he believes that one day his neighbor will change his mind and the wall will move away from there. And that's all about the story. And now let us move on to the central theme and idea of the poem Mending Wall by Robert Lee Frost. So the wall is created between the land of two farmers, and the wall every year in spring season the wall will destroy and they want to rebuild it again and again. And the poet does not like the wall, but the neighbor all would make good neighbors. And this idea and the creation of wall and rebuilding the problems they had between their land, and by rebuilding it in again and again is the central idea throughout the poem. So the wall carries the main role throughout the poem. So the tone of the poem is mysterious when he suggests that some natural or supernatural forces is tearing down the world again and again. He says that something else destroying the world, that something that does not love the world that is destroying it again and again, and something that we didn't heard or something unseen is continuously destroying it again and again. So, through this, the main idea or main theme of the poem is the barriers, about barriers. So, by creating a wall, they are creating a wall in their minds too. Peoples were so selfish towards themselves and they are not considering or they are not ready to communicate with each others. By creating a barrier, they are rebuilding a wall in their own minds and there is no relationship between their personality or their mind. And through this, he says that humanity is moving away from the minds of the people. Most of the works of Robert Frost is dealing with the day-to-day life of human life situation in nature and humanity. So the word in the poem symbolizes the two views of two persons, one from the point of view of the author or the poet Robert Frost and other from the neighbor. The poet want to live in a harmony with the neighbor and he believed that there is no need of wall and it will create some kind of harmony and they can communicate with each other. There is no barriers arising between their minds. But for the neighbor, he says that by creating a wall or by creating a barrier, he is saying that they are protecting their relationship. For him, he always says that by creating a wall, and he says that good fences can make good neighbors. So, the core theme for almost all works of Robert Lee Frost is deals with nature and humanity. The central metaphor of the poem is the war itself, and it creates division among the people. Things keep them apart. So, the entire poem is dealing with the war itself, and it creates division among the people. Things keep them apart. So the entire poem is dealing with the idea of a war, and they says that the war is destroying the minds of the people, and by creating a war in the minds too, they are moving away from each other and they are going selfish. There is no humanity and harmony among the people, and that's all about the poem. And thank you.